Hello, beautiful people,
What
beautiful
up? What up?
Skylar,
What up?
beautiful Benson. How are you guys? Thank you for being here.
Doing good. Thank
Hi,
you for having me.
Emily. I'm super stoked for tonight's event. This is different, right? We haven't done anything like this before. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, we have a new face here with us tonight. Skylar, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. If you are joining us tonight and you're in Astro flipping community, you probably know Skylar. Um, but if you're not and you're just here joining us for another amazing live stream, hi. Um, so, a lot of the times in the chat, we see people say, "Oh, this person is way too smooth on the phone. Like, I don't know rehab budget or I don't have a contractor. Like, how could I say this? I don't know. I'd be so awkward." And we are here tonight to debunk that limiting belief because, Skylar, how long have you been wholesaling?
About 2 months.
2 months.
That's
He's
it.
2 months in, guys. So a lot of you could say that's kind of newbie, right?
hmm
Skylar, tell
Yes.
us a little bit about you, how you got to this point, and we'll start there.
Okay. Prior to investing, I was a law enforcement officer in a small town called Okeechobee in Florida. Um, I ran into the Rich Dad Poor Dad series.
Cool.
Since then, have just branched into a ton of different books. Went to a seminar. RJ Bates told me that I need to research wholesaling. Research wholesaling. Found Jamil. Haven't looked back since. I got to the point where I knew everything that I had to do, and I just had to do it. So I had enough money saved up for about 3 months. Um, Left my job as a law enforcement officer, and I've been full steam Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 wholesaling, and I haven't looked back since. And I'm about that close to get my first deal.
Wow. How many
Amazing.
of you in the chat feel like, okay, I know everything I need to do. I just need to do it. Throw up throw up some emojis, some thumbs up. Tell us where you guys are at because that when Skylar told me that that was super inspiring because he was like, "Man, I want this. I'm just going to dive in." And how old are you, Skylar?
23 years old. The
23 years old. Me
biggest thing, the biggest thing holding me back was myself. So it's all about saying like, oh, I absolutely need a job. I need a job. I need a job. But at the end of the day, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I got to go back to work.
Right. So you said you were holding yourself back. What was it that was holding you back, do you think?
Mindset, thinking that you can't do it because you don't have the experience, or you're in a small town like me. Like we have the town's like 40,000. I had to go to a big city to go to a seminar. So just small things, thinking that you can't do it when the only thing holding you back is yourself and just executing.
Was that a struggle for you to like overcome that in your own head? Did you
Oh yeah.
reach out to help, or was it Astro flipping that got you past that?
Yeah, it was definitely Astro, a bunch of YouTube videos. I've read a bunch of books, leadership books, motivational books, reaching out, just getting myself out there. I went. So we have a billionaire in Okeechobee who comes and visits. We did a security detail, and I remember reading a book saying that you need to find a mentor, and I was like, what better than a billionaire, right? So I went and I actually knocked on his door for the security detail, what was the worst that was gonna happen? He tells me no, and then he told me no, but still, it's that one chance of like, what if he said yes? You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
but the
Well,
only
he
thing
only
holding
told
me,
you no the first time.
mm-hmm,
He's
and the
probably
only
playing hard to get.
yeah, and the only thing holding me back from going up there and knocking on the door was myself. So
Right. That's a great example of just busting through any obstacle that's there, and
mm-hmm.
you didn't care if he said no, and it's maybe you have a bad rest of the night, but I mean, he could have said yes, and it would have been life
Exactly.
changing. And it doesn't mean that he's done, right? Like
No.
you should go back.
Yeah.
Like he'll appreciate the perseverance.
Right. No, I definitely
Awesome.
will.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I really I really like how you ask yourself, like, as you're observing these thoughts and you're like, okay, well, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
That's super powerful because that puts you in a place where you're separate from your thoughts and you're then analyzing from a third point of view, like, okay, I'm not going to die. My family won't be on the streets. We're going to have food on the table. So I should just try this.
Yeah.
I should just make this call. I should just invest in the tool.
Yeah.
I should just, take action. So that's amazing.
Worst case scenario, start over. Best case scenario, never have to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Well, congrats for getting this far, man. You definitely have overcome a lot, and probably the majority of the people wouldn't have gone this far, right, in your same situation. So, I heard you just had you have a child, you've got a family, and so you really are putting yourself out there, and I want to congratulate you on that. And it sounds like you're really liking Privy too. You've been using that
Yes.
tool as your main kind of tool. How is that helping you so far?
It's phenomenal. So not only do I use it to find deals and find buyers, but I use it to stay organized. So there's the list tab, and then there's the notes. And what I do is if I follow up with an agency, I get an offer presented and it gets rejected, I add it to a list and I say follow up. Usually I put 2 weeks from now, I put follow up on this date, and then I keep adding to the list every day I go back. So then in the morning, whenever I come back, I just open up my list, find what day I'm on for my follow-ups. Now I have a list of all the houses I'm following up on, all the agents, all the responses, and it hits like 3 birds with 1 stone.
It sounds kind of like John Galan's approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a very similar approach, and he's killing it with it. So you should look up the video that he did with Jamil, where he talks a little bit more about his structure. It's very similar, but there might be some additional ideas there that you can implement to keep even more, focused,
Right.
and maybe level that up a little bit. But it might be right there.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Well, maybe we should jump into Privy a little bit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. So we have a lot of people in the chat that responded and we're like, I'm brand new. I'm new here from healthcare. I don't know what I'm doing. So Privy is like a one-stop shop, guys. You can find leads here. You can find buyers. We're going to show you, but this is like a secret weapon to have in your tool belt. And luckily for you, I think we have a little discount for you tonight if you guys are nice. So we'll let Benson get into it now.
Yes, for sure. We definitely have an affinity for the Astro community and Emily, and of course Jamil. Like, we just see it as just like a really great partnership. Our values align, and we're all like similar thinking. We're entrepreneurial, and it's always like great when I can support the community by doing deals and additional support. And so we've been doing that for almost a year now, which is crazy if you think about it, Emily. Time flies by so quickly. But we'll jump more of that into in a while. But for those of you that have Privy, just keep this as kind of like a refresher. We've got some new features, some new functionality. We've got new markets, and we got some exciting things coming up here in the next couple months. We're going to be launching new rental data. So for those of us that do wholesale, like probably one of our plans is to acquire properties that we can keep, put into a portfolio, and give us passive income. And that's really how you build wealth, right? Wholesaling is a great way to build liquidity and get that transactional data information coming in with the money that we can use to start to build something and build wealth. And so we're adding in that long-term rental data. We got a big partnership there. And then also on the heels of that launch will be the partnership with AirDNA. So we'll be adding in short-term rental data as well. So it's a little bit, it's still a long-term rental strategy in general, like accumulation of properties, but it's just how you manage the contracts and how long those people are in your property. So that's all coming, and a bunch of new markets. One of the things that makes us really unique is that we are the only platform out there that has direct to MLS data on scale. So what you see on the map here is our coverage map. Wherever you see blue is where we've got the direct to MLS data. Why is that even important? Well, in a game where the numbers matter,
Do you want me to share your screen?
it is sharing. Do you not see that?
No, I see our StreamYard tab.
Um, is that what everybody sees? Do you guys not see my screen?
No, sir.
No. I think if you have two desktops, you might need to share another one.
Let's try that again.
Little technical difficulty never stopped us.
Mom's in the chat. Love you, Mom.
Where's Mom?
So, do you see the map?
There, now we can see it. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. So what you see on the screen here is the where the blue data is. That's our direct to MLS. That is the best data that's available. It's the same data that agents and appraisers use. In the past, a lot of people would go out and they would go and get licensed as an agent, or they would, pretend to be a real estate agent assistant so they can get access to the data. And that's, in my opinion, not the best approach. So we've been working hard to get these direct to MLS data contracts in place so that we can provide you that data in the system. And it isn't just the data; it's actually there's algorithms powering it. So our system is constantly analyzing every single property in the U.S. 24/7, so that you can spend your time on money making activities. It's a lot of work to go and comp properties out, but with a comping algorithm, it all happens in a fraction of a second. And then we build a cool report here. I'm going to show you guys in a second. The next thing we have is the red ones, which is the coming soon markets. So, well, actually, before that, in the blue ones, we have over 90 direct to MLS markets now. We just launched Boston, we launched Houston, we launched Myrtle Beach. I'm beta testing Portland right now, and also Detroit. So we're gonna have new markets constantly coming out, and we're gonna have probably about 80% coverage of the entire populated U.S. within the next 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
So yeah, we're pushing hard on that. The red ones are the ones that we're currently working on, and the where you see either gray or yellow is what's called third party MLS data. So that's a combination of just regular county record data where you can find like owner information and mortgage information. You can find like off market leads like foreclosures or vacancies, tired landlords. That's nationwide. And then the yellow is third party, and that's data that's aggregated from large data providers, but it isn't direct. So it isn't as accurate or up to date, and it doesn't provide photos. And it can be very challenging to do any sort of comping or understanding of values in non-disclosure states with that kind of data. So that's another reason why it's so important for us to keep adding those direct to MLS. That's the blue ones. Okay. Skylar mentioned that he's in a small city in Florida, right? And probably what most wholesalers do when they first start off is they just look for deals where they live. And that could be very problematic rather. And that is because if you're looking at an area where no one's doing deals, then you're missing a lot of the important things that you need to be able to build a consistency around your business, like buyers, like data that you need to be able to use to prove after repair value. All that stuff is really super important. So we built some buttons here at the top of Privy that will help you to identify the best areas to look for deals. And sometimes that doesn't align with where you live, and that's okay. So if I click this button right here at the top, it says fix and flip. That plots on the map where all the fix and flips are that have happened in the last 12 months. And then we can look at this heat map and figure out where we should be looking for deals. If it does, again, line up with where we live or where we want to look for deals, then that's amazing. But if it doesn't, then it can help you to make a better decision on maybe maneuvering or choosing some place different. So wherever you see these holes is where no one's doing deals, and you cannot get oil. Well, let's say gold, right? One of my favorite shows is called Gold Rush, and when this is up in the Yukon, and when they're going and they're digging for gold, they don't just go start digging, right? What they do is they have these people come in and they drill these really deep holes and they pull out these core samples and they look for traces of gold. And if there's no evidence of gold in the dirt, they don't dig there because it's a waste of time and money and energy. So they just drill, and it's called doing an assay. So picture this as an assay for wholesale deals. Wherever you don't see blue, there's no evidence of deals being done, which means that you will have a very hard time getting a deal done there too.
Yeah.
So where are some of these markets? So Skylar, you've done a bunch of your research, right?
Yes, sir.
Like if you're looking at this map, like where are your eyes being drawn? Where you think would be a good area to target? And then we'll kind of work on the East Coast and move west.
So I typically go for the biggest circle with the biggest number. That's where I head. So I see 3448. That would be my first click, which would be in the center.
Yep.
And then it
That's
would zoom in.
Chicago market.
Yeah. And I would, again, once we zoom in more, I would find the biggest circle with the biggest number, 3448 again. And I would keep going until I work my way down to where the houses pop up on the left.
Gotcha. So you're just like literally drilling down. Remember I said they drilled core samples? Like that's kind of what we're doing here with data. So if we were going to be looking for deals in the Chicago market, we'd be right here in this kind of Roseland area, right? This is one of the hottest areas in the Midwest.
And that's where the money's at.
That's where the money's at, right? Now, we do plan on doing some calls tonight, you guys. So we're going to move west so that we can get to an earlier time zone. But if we were to look at the map on the west side of the country, similar thing applies, right? So if we're looking at the map and we see these large circles, what are the large circles you see now?
Arizona.
Yep, Arizona. Look at this, Phoenix. Right, so the highest amount of investor activity west of the Mississippi is Phoenix. So if you're in the Phoenix market, that's a good thing. Now, there's an argument that some people make that if you are in a place where there's a lot of activity, then that means there's a lot of competition. And what I say to that is competition might as well mean comps. So without any competition, you have no comps. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's a double-edged sword. And what I do know about competition is that I can help, solve for that. I can be quicker, I can be faster, I can take more action, I can hustle, and I can do a lot of things to beat the competition. But you can't solve the no comps problem. You can't just create comps out of thin air. So this is why you still want to be targeting these high investor activity areas. So let's drill down a little bit closer.
Facebook user just said in the chat, I guess they don't respond to the chat. If you come over to YouTube, on Jamil's YouTube, you'll be able to have the chat over here, guys. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay. So Skylar, we're in the Phoenix market now. Is there any place, have you done any research on Phoenix before?
No, sir.
You haven't. Okay, so right up here, this is where we see the larger circles, right? The higher numbers. And you guys, we try to make this super simple for everyone, even people who are newer, to come in and take action. Because it's difficult if you just had like a chart or a graph or, some sort of a spreadsheet, and that's really difficult to make sense of. But for us, we can be like, okay, it says 73 right there. Yeah. Well, we click the 73 and now we're getting even further and closer. Right? Now we're close enough to where we can actually see the deals that have closed, right? So these are all closed deals. So Skylar, what do you do next once you get close enough? What do you do with this data?
So now I look at some of the houses to see what type of flips are being done, to see the quality, and then I like to see where the price range is at. Because if that's where I'm going to be, I want to know what they're flipping for, like if they're doing a mediocre flip or if they're doing full luxury. And then I want to see where that value is at so I know where I need to be whenever I start running my numbers.
Got it. Yeah, and this is what I call local market education, right? Astro flipping is one of the greatest education platforms and communities in the world. But here's the thing that they can't teach you. They can't teach you what a deal is in Arizona. Jamil can't show you what percentage of ARV to buy a property at in Philadelphia, right? The coaches there, everybody who's involved in education can't tell you who the buyers are in Tampa, right? So all that local market education can only come from data. And what we've done is we've done a lot of work to put all that data in one place to help you quickly become a local market expert and understand what a deal is. Because then when you understand what a deal is, when you come across an opportunity, it's easier for you to identify that deal and understand, okay, I have to get it at this certain price. I have to get it at this percentage of ARV because the buyer down the street just flipped a house and they got it at that percentage of ARV. And so you're really just comparing what it is that you're doing to what other investors have already had success with. So this report right here is called a live comparative market analysis. And a CMA is just a fancy word for a property report. But we put all this information in one place. This is way more, I would say, like robust than anything you can even pull from the MLS. They don't have these kinds of things built into it. So with that raw data, we can really make it actionable for you and for all of our agent clients, because we've got agents that use Privy, wholesalers, fix and flippers, buy and hold investors, creative deal structure investors. I like to tell people we're exit strategy agnostic. You can use it for whatever it is you want to do. We just provide you the data and the information to help you do that better, more effectively, and quicker.
Heck yeah. I like that.
Hey Benson, real quick, I got a question. If
Yeah.
somebody is not as young and not as tech savvy and they get Privy, do you guys host like any lives or anything once they join to where they can ask questions or tune in?
Oh, absolutely. I do at least 2 live sessions per week. Mondays and Thursdays. We're actually just started a 30-day challenge, and we're going to have like 3 or 4 trainings per week for like the next 30 days. So
Wow.
everybody here will have the opportunity to take part in that. And we just really just pour into you guys. We're going to have special guests, and we're going to have, live training, and there's prizes. There's a bunch of cool things that we're doing.
Awesome.
So this right here is the comparables. So I told you before about, pulling comparables, analyzing properties it can be difficult to do. And even with my, I have 20 years of experience now, and access to my MLS in Colorado, it would take me an hour to properly comp out any one property. But with Privy, it all happens in a fraction of a second. It's all editable. So I can come in, I can edit this and get rid of comps or redraw the comp zone. We've got a really cool, this is one of our newer features where we can come in and edit on the fly what the definition of a comp is. So we can adjust the square foot tolerance. We can adjust the square foot for the lot. We can match up bedrooms and bathrooms. We can limit the sold date range. So if we want to only look at comps that sold in the last 3 months, we can put a cap here. So we give you guys this so you can really drill down on the data that's going to help you make the best decision the quickest and get really confident in your numbers.
I use that frequently in like areas that have a lot of comparables because it's just time, right? So it takes time to sit there and funnel through when you can just open up that tab, put in what you're looking for, and it'll automatically sort everything that you're looking for.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, you can drill down and because there's only certain things that an algorithm can do. A lot of comping is more of an art than it is a science. And so sometimes you have to use your best judgment to realize, oh, well, like this house is on a river and this one's not, right? So that's why there's going to be a slightly different value. Or, mine's on a major street and this comp that gave us the high value is in the neighborhood, right? And so those things do take a human element to be able to figure out and make adjustments. But this one right here it was the deal, right? So this is where we kind of learn what a deal looks like. So they bought this house for $227,000. They sold it for $375,000. They got it at 61% of the ARV. So this is telling us that an investor, the actual fix and flipper, was willing to buy a property at 61% of the after repair value. Okay. This here, we can see they got it from the MLS. This was an on-market deal. We can see that here's the ARMLS ID number. We can see who the agents were that were involved in this transaction. So the agent who represented the fix and flipper on this deal was named Roman. And so Roman is an agent that you might want to work with in your business because they understand how to work with investors. A lot of agents say they do, but most of them just want to and haven't really had much experience with it. So you said you like to look at the construction, Skylar?
Yeah.
this can be powerful too. Also, when you're
Yeah.
marketing your deals, to be able to show your end buyer like what's driving value. What
Yeah.
kind of construction is adequate for the neighborhood? Where's the bar been set? Can
Yeah.
you get away with a rental grade rehab and just put like Formica, countertops and linoleum and all the cabinets are off the shelf from Home Depot, or do you have to do something a little more high end?
Yeah. So I've encountered where I've ran some properties, and then I run by some cash buyers that I have that check my numbers for me, and that's where I learned it. Is they explain like you go from doing $25,000 of repair in one neighborhood to another one where it's $75,000 because it's more high end, because they're all in all they're also competing with the other flips because they want to sell their deals to make their profit as well.
Exactly. We also factor in some timelines. So if you're thinking about like what does a project really cost? Well, if you think it's going to take 2 months to flip a house, but it's really going to take 10 months, that can really change what how the amount of carrying costs that are involved in any sort of project. So we show you how long projects take over here, and then below that we show you the public record data. So this house had been in foreclosure in the past. This tells us who the flipper is. So how do you use this piece right here, Skylar?
So I also use assessor records to actually figure out the structure of the house.
Hmm.
If it's concrete block, wood, frame, stucco, things like that. If it has a pool, sometimes the pictures don't include a pool, and then you'll run into a comp where it'll say yes, it does have a pool, or garages and things like that. And that's how I typically use the assessor tab.
Very cool. And then one of the important things that comes out of this is who the flipper was.
Yeah.
So when you guys are building your buyers list, instead of just kind of building it randomly by poking around Facebook groups or asking around the local RIA or even just talking to people in the community here with Astro, why not work with somebody flipped a deal and closed it yesterday, right? That they're active. They've got the capability, they've got the number, the finances to be able to get a deal done, and we have an idea of what their buying criteria is, right? Their buy box, right? Because typically that's something you have to ask at some point. What is your buy box? Well, we know what one house is that fits their buying criteria. This one right here, a 5.2, 1,700 square feet. So BlackRock Acquisitions. I wonder if that's like the real BlackRock, or if it's just somebody that's got a similar name. But they are willing to buy houses in Phoenix that are like this. So this is a great opener. So you've already started to build your buyers list, right, Skylar?
Yes, sir.
How is that going for you? And like what's working for you, what's not? Tell me how
Good.
you've started your
So,
buyers list.
yeah, so I actually just started doing this maybe a week ago, and I watched your video as well as one with Mahmood. So what I did is I went into my market and like how you go into active, like where we're at now, to figure out where we're at. If I can't
Hmm.
find the owner, what I'll do is if it was listed, I'll call the agent and I'll be like, hey, my name's Skylar. I'm an investor. I noticed that you represented this person and you just sold this house at X, Y, and Z. I have another opportunity coming up, and I wanted to know if maybe you were still in touch with him, if you wanted another property that you could show for him, and maybe we could make something happen. And that's how I've been building. And what happen is not only do I build a rapport with that agent, but I also get in touch with that buyer, and then now we work something out where I'm hitting two birds with one stone.
I love it. That's awesome. What's been the response from agents when you're doing that? Are they being like open to you? Are they being judgmental? Like what's been your experience with that?
It depends on the agent.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll get some that are completely don't want to cooperate, they don't have the time, or they're in a rush. And then sometimes you have the ones that specifically work with investors, and they know that they can buy and sell like 20 houses working with this one investor, so they're completely open to it. So they'll collect all your information, send it out. They'll talk to you, see what you're looking for, send you pocket listings. So it's a 50-50 on my responses so far.
Nice. Yeah, and you don't know till you try. And some people are scared to talk with agents because they think, oh my God, an agent, like they're licensed, and they put them up on a pedestal, and really they're just other people trying to get deals done,
Yeah,
right?
I'm the way I see it, I'm about to have my license in 2 weeks in Florida. But the way I see real estate license and real estate agents and wholesaling is essentially just a buyer's agent for a flipper or another type of investor. If you think about it, because what you're doing is you're finding the deal that they're looking for and you're bringing it to them and you're getting a fee for it. Well, what does a real estate agent do? They find the house for you, they get it to where you need it to be, and then they sell it or buy it, vice versa. So the way I see it is we're essentially the same, but we just operate on different standards.
Got it. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. But basically too, you've taken them off the pedestal, and now you're looking at them eye to eye, and the conversation isn't as scary that way, right? And you have more to offer them than they do you.
Yes.
Right.
I think
You're bringing more to the table than they are in a lot of cases.
Yeah, what I've realized I've been getting a lot more responses on is that I mentioned that I'm looking to close on about 100 houses. And usually whenever you say that, they're like, oh, wow. So if they're not working with investors and I say, hey, yeah, I mean, we try to close at least 100 houses a year, and we like to work exclusively with agents that are investor friendly. And then that opens up the conversation if they've never worked with investors, how it happens, why should they, things like that.
I love it. Yeah, that's always great. I mean, to put your goal out there, because they do want to make money. And again, most agents, if they're doing traditional real estate, they're working with people. They say that somebody buys a house every 7 to 10 years. So like they're out there just constantly starting over again. But if they can get a good relationship with an investor or a wholesaler like you, and your goal is to do 100 houses and they can get in good with you, oh man, they get to set themselves up for life potentially.
Exactly.
With one good relationship.
Yeah. And there's sometimes where you'll run into agents that are just completely don't want to work with investors at all, and they won't answer. What happens is if you build good relationship with other agents, they will actually represent you as the buyer's agent, write your contract for you, and get it presented. So if you're stuck at that wall that you can't get an offer in front of a seller because the agent doesn't work with you, you can bring on your buddy that you just made a friend that's a buyer's agent, help him get some money, and then get your offer up there in front of the seller and potentially get a deal closed.
Oh yeah. Very cool. Well, this is another deal that just closed. And this is another one of those things you start to learn about your market as you look at a couple deals and you'll start to realize like, man, there's things I didn't know about this market. Like this house here, it was purchased off market. So the last deal we saw was purchased from the MLS. It was at 61% of the ARV. This house was purchased off market and they paid 63% of the ARV. So with just one of or two of the first three houses we looked at, the person who bought their house from the MLS got a better deal. And they didn't have to spend any money on marketing. They didn't have to cold call or skip trace or knock on anybody's door. They didn't have to do ringless voicemail or send out an expensive mailing campaign. Like they got a better deal just by working MLS deals. And the other cool thing about that is that people who put their houses on the market, they're motivated. They're the most motivated to sell. People are always like, well, I'm trying to find motivated sellers. Well, how are you ignoring the people who are most motivated to sell, which is people who put their houses on the MLS?
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of mind-boggling, but the reason is, and this is just my belief, is that people have been kind of just, I don't even know, indoctrinated for years and years and years that you can't get deals from the MLS. And this is the reason why Jamil and I were so like, best buddies when we first met, is because he was the only other person that I knew that was saying that. And at that point I knew like, okay, we've got something here, because he was doing agent outreach and he was doing on market deals and he was showing people that there's a better way to do it. Doesn't mean that off market doesn't work. No, of course not. Off market's a great way to get deals. It just takes a lot of deep pockets, a lot of experience. You have to be really good on the phone. You have to have, amazing marketing and sales ability. You have to have amazing organizational skills. You have to have the ability to answer your phone 20 hours a day. Otherwise, you're going to miss leads. And you have to have the ability to have a consistent and very, what would be called planned out follow up, right? They say anywhere from 10 to 12 touches to get one deal under contract. Most of us don't have that that kind of ability to keep pushing forward and get someone tell you no 10 times, right? So let's call an agent. How about we call this agent Susan and see if we can't get her to work with us?
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's
Yeah, guys, and for all of you newbies here who are intimidated, don't be. Skylar, he literally doesn't even work in this market. Like we're just dropping him in this market and he's gonna kill it. He's gonna do his thing.
So I'm going to find the contact info for you. So one of the things we want to be careful of, you guys, is showing phone numbers publicly. We found out that YouTube doesn't like that. So I'm going to stop the share for a moment, and then we're going to get the contact information, and then Skylar's going to call.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Benson.
Are we looking for her to put us in touch with a cash buyer? Or are we looking for her to help us with like listings and things like that? Market listings.
I think it's up to you, but I think if you lead with, the closed deal and, they just, is their buyer looking for any more deals kind of thing? And that could lead into them giving you deals.
Okay, let's try it. Let's shoot for both then.
Yep. So let me see here.
Yeah, if any of you were on our call a couple of weeks ago with Mahmood finding buyers on Privy, YouTube took it down, sadly, because we were exposing people's personal information.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it got taken down. Everyone's asking us for it, but they won't let us put it back up.
Could you re-edit it but blur out the information?
Maybe. I'm not sure. We might have to find a new way to do that. Maybe like Zoom or something, because we don't want to flag Jamil's YouTube either.
Right.
Yeah. They've gotten really careful about that in recent months. I don't know if something changed for them, but I'm just going to find this real quick for you guys. So when you're getting ready to call somebody, Skylar, as I'm looking for this, like, do you have any sort of preparation that you do before you call somebody?
Yeah, so it depends on what I'm doing. So there's multiple ways that usually I got my pad, I got my pen. Whenever you talk to people, what I've learned is that sometimes, because everybody says, oh, you need a script, but what happens when it goes off script? So I always like to set reminders of what I'm trying to do. So if I end up going off of where I thought I was going to go, I can still come back and I can hit all the points that I'm trying to hit so that I don't have to call the agent 4 times in one day. So I know we want the cash buyer. And we're looking for listings and off-market listings.
Yep. And there's her phone number. Do you see it? I put it in the private chat for you.
Wow, Benson, you're sharing some good tips with me right now.
And what's her name?
Her name is Susanna Miranda.
And then let's go ahead and pull that sold listing back up for him to look off of.
Yep.
So he can reference it. This replay will be available on Jamil's YouTube channel right after this.
All right. Okay, you see the address?
Yes. We ready?
Right. Yep, we're ready.
All right.
So you're gonna put it on speaker and make sure it's close to the mic.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Hello?
Hi, is this Miss Susanna?
Yes, it is.
Hi, my name is Skylar. I was calling about your listing that just recently sold at 4216 North 34th Avenue. She hung up on me. Now we're going to call her back.
Oh, no.
Leave a voicemail and be like, oh, it must have been a mistake.
Right now. Please leave your
Nothing.
number and a brief message, and I will return your call shortly. Thank you and have a great day. At the tone, please record your
Is it a phone guide?
You have finished recording. You may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Miss Susanna. This is Skylar. I think our call dropped. I was calling about this listing. I'm about to have one around the corner, similar, and I noticed that the person that sold the home was an investor. He's a flipper. I have the perfect opportunity for him, and I would love for you to work with us on this so that we could hopefully get you another deal as well. If you could shoot me a call whenever you can. My phone number is 863-447-8043. Thank you. Boom.
Nice.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say that her phone died.
No. It happens, man. Remember, the deal of a lifetime comes once a week.
Oh yeah, she. I don't know what happened there, but
It happens.
very interesting.
And
It's
when
But yeah,
that,
so no fear though. You called right back. You're like, I'm calling her back.
and
Worst
when
case
that
scenario,
happens, on to the next.
Yeah. It only takes one yes. You can get 100 no's, 100 hangups, but if you get one yes and that one yes makes you 10 grand, why
Oh
not?
yeah. So I'm finding another one here for us. The address is 8117 West Elm Street, and I'll share this here with you here in a second. But I'm going to be looking up the phone number for Omar.
What was the address again?
It's 8117 West Elm Street.
Okay. Well, we can tag team this. I'll have Privy up, and you can do the detective work in the back.
Okay.
Can you see that? You see that, Skylar?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Sorry, I was looking at the
Okay,
chat.
Oh, nice. That was fast.
I'm
Good
Oh, that
job.
was gorgeous.
All right.
So
So
we're
I'll do
gonna
the
try and
detective work here.
you're finding the agent's info right now.
I am. So he's listing his office number a lot. This one might not be an office number, but we'll try this one.
Burnell is asking, since you don't have any deals going on in this area, if she calls back and asks about what you have there, what would you tell her?
I tell her that I have a possible off-market opportunity, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to build a cash buyer that would potentially come by and swoop it. So if I could talk to them, figure out where they need to be on the house, what I could do is I could say, hey, would you be able to represent me? Would you be willing to put me in touch with that buyer so that if they do buy it and flip it, you could potentially be the agent that shows it again? It's all about trying to build some motivation in the agent.
Exactly, and just making that relationship, right?
Yes, exactly. Because even though relationships are important, it's all about the value that you can bring to them. Because if you're coming to the table and you're saying, hey, yeah, I just want to talk to your cash buyer and not give you anything, then it's like, why am I going to waste my time doing any of that? What's in it for me is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
And
You see Omo's phone number, Skylar?
Sorry.
It's in the private chat there for you.
well, you're all good. Doan Cole, we are looking for buyers right now, yes, and we are using Privy.
We ready?
Yep,
Ready.
you are.
Thanks for calling Omar with West Real.
I'm calling back. I have an 863 number, so they might think it's spam.
Mm-hmm. The double call.
You have to. I'll leave him a message if he doesn't answer.
Thanks for calling Omar with West USA Realty. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Gracias por llamar más ahorita con West USA Realty. Por favor, deje su mensaje y le regreso la llamada lo más pronto posible. Gracias.
Hey, Omar, this is Skylar Casey, and I was calling about your listing that just sold at 8117 West Elm Street in Phoenix. I have another opportunity right around the corner. I noticed that it was a flipper that sold the house. I was wondering if you were in touch with him and maybe we could make something happen if he came in and bought the house, and then you could sell that one for him too. If you could give me a call back, please. My phone number is 863-447-8043. Thank you.
Strike two.
Yeah. But it's all about touching bases.
Oh, yeah. So I found another one here.
Okay.
What's that address?
It's 5762 North 48th Lane.
In Glendale?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
And that's Antonio Garcia. I put the phone number in there.
Got it. 6029. Oh, I probably shouldn't say it out loud. Sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, is this Antonio?
Yes.
Hey, my name is Skylar Casey, and I noticed that you just sold a house that was flipped in Glendale a couple days ago. I have another property coming up here in probably about a couple days right around the corner. I was wondering if you were still in touch with that seller. We might be able to make something happen.
No, we're currently working on all the projects that we have.
Oh, okay. So you're the investor?
Looking to pick up anything.
I'm sorry?
I said we're not really looking to pick up anything else.
Oh, okay. Are you the one that flips it?
No.
Okay. So your investor, he's just not looking for anything right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, maybe I can get his contact information or something, we could work something out so whenever he's looking, we can make something happen?
No, doesn't really like me giving out his information.
Okay, I understand. Well, if I stayed in touch with you maybe in like a month or two, I could touch base and see if we're looking for anything else.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, awesome. Well, I also work with agents, and I flip and I also wholesale. I would love to do some deals with you if you're interested.
Okay, yeah, definitely in the future for sure.
Awesome, man. Is it cool if I just save your number and we'll touch base later?
Yes.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.
Of course.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Boom.
Nice job.
So he works with investors. He says his current guy isn't currently looking. I would touch base in like a week because he didn't sound too confident. It seemed like he was more trying to get off the phone and see if I can build rapport and then hopefully get some names, some numbers out of him.
That was awesome. You had like 3 or 4 opportunities there just to hang up.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's
you
all
didn't.
well, that's
right?
why it's good to write down what you're looking for. So I don't look for cash buyers, looking for listings, off market and on market.
Oh, yeah. One thing you could have asked following when he said my buyer's not looking is, okay, you likely have other clients that might be looking, right? So there's the whole opportunity of how many clients are they working with? It isn't just about this one guy.
Right. That's a good point.
But the other ones were flawless, man. Like really, really good job.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's look for one more of those.
Richard, man, it's all rinse and repeat. So I've been doing it for 2 months, but I call. It's all rinse and repeat. You learn as you go. So my first call, horrible. So, but it's all about making those calls and getting that experience.
What kind of KPIs are you hitting every day, Skylar?
Now with manual agent outreach, I reach out to at least 100 agents. I start with a text, and the text is like, "Hey, I'm looking to buy a house. Can you help me?" and that usually gets me a good response.
Mhm.
And then I'll hop on the phone with them, and then I'll follow up. I think I'm going to be at 122, 123 follow-ups tomorrow, including my 100 new agents that I'm going to be reaching out to.
Wow.
Dang,
And
man.
that's all manual. So I need to figure out CRMs. That's probably what I'm going to do this weekend. Find some, but I do pretty much everything off of Privy. But it's all a numbers game. And now I'm starting to get the flow of agents reaching out to me saying that they're having opportunities come up. Am I interested? Or we touch base and things like that.
Well, that's just it. You are really close to your first deal, man.
Yes.
When they start hitting you up, you're gonna get that one text or that one call where it's like, "Hey, check out this off market."
Exactly.
And
And
then
you can get 100 no's, but it only takes one yes. And that one yes is enough to pay my expenses. If it's 10,000, pay my expenses for 6 months. So
wow,
That is solid. So I found another one. Emily, this is 8407 West Montecito Avenue.
all righty. Oh wow,
There we
look at
go.
that beautiful sky.
I don't know
Jorge
what's
said
softer.
100 agents a day or a week. That's
a day.
A day. Yes, a day.
100
Yeah.
agents a day. You should see my phone. My phone starts to it gets super slow whenever I'm trying to text sometimes, or I'll have to wait an hour for it to catch up.
100 agents a day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You're not trying hard enough, man. No
I'm
wonder you haven't closed the deal yet. Just joking. You're killing it. That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying, man. It'll come eventually. Are we ready?
Yep.
Ready. So this is Robert.
Oh, I like these little windows.
This is Robert.
Hey, Robert. My name is Skylar. I'm calling about a house that just recently sold. It was done by a flipper, 8407 West Montecito Avenue.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you? You're the flipper?
I'm the flipper and also the realtor, yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, I'm a wholesaler. And I'm actually have a couple of off markets that are coming up in that same area. I was wondering if you were still buying.
Yep, definitely still buying. I'll be honest with you, I also do wholesale, so I actually found that Montecito one myself, and
Okay.
I've got 2 others going right now. So I'll be honest with you, unless we can get a really good deal.
Okay.
We don't typically buy from wholesalers because we wholesale ourselves.
Yes, sir.
But I'm definitely open. If you can get me a solid deal,
Mhm.
I'm definitely open. I want to stay in that area range.
Okay.
I don't mind the area, but because that one there, we paid that one $250. I put in $35, and I sold it for $345.
Wow, awesome. That's a good deal. No, I see exactly what you're saying. So you're looking to stay around that same 55-60% ARV?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, I can definitely make that happen. And if you're a wholesaler too, if I find a really good deal, if you can wholesale my wholesale, I'm still open to that as well. If you have access to buyers, man, this could be a great business opportunity for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, and it's me and my partner that do the flips right now. We have a bunch of investors that we work with, so we usually bring in a few people. Yeah, because our goal is to do between 8 to 12 this year.
Okay.
And we've got 3 right now. So one is all 3 are complete at this point. One is sold. The other one is closing. I got one on 90th and Thomas.
Yes, sir.
That one is closing the 26th.
Wow.
And then we have another one off of Palo Verde and sorry, not Palo Verde. It's on Palo Verde on off of Bethany Home.
Right.
And that one is listed now. We just listed it 3 or 4 days ago.
Well, awesome, man. Congratulations. I'm very happy for
Thanks.
you. Hey.
Yeah, so we're still buying. Definitely, we're still looking for good deals. So if you got anything at all that you think might work, just send it my way.
Okay, awesome, man. Hey, we'll definitely be in touch. I'll save your number. What I'll do is I'll reach out, grab your email address, and then we'll touch base and see if we can make money happen.
You got it. Sounds good.
Awesome, man. You have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
That's a good lead.
That was solid. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Bro.
Dude, Skylar, that was amazing.
That's and so we found a flipper. He's also an agent, and he's also a wholesaler. So you got a potential acquisitions, you got a potential disposition, you've got a good agent that you can work with to help get your deals presented, and he's potentially going to be your buyer. So if I bring something to this guy, right, he's like, this doesn't fit my criteria for this, but it could fit my criteria for this. So you got two potential chances to make money with one person.
That's pretty good odd. You should write that down right now. His contact.
You know,
Who
it was,
knows?
I think he was how you did it that got him to open up so quick too, man. Like
Yeah.
he was very kind of, you know, he wasn't sure who you were when you first called.
Yeah.
And then you just were just like, you know, talking to him like a normal guy. And pretty soon he opened up, and then he wanted to prove to you how good he was. Like he was trying to prove himself.
Yes. So he's doing really good. He's what I call, he's on the money run. So he's all of his stuff is closing, so he's making it. So now he's got to double back. But that's I call it the money run. But that's a good lead right there. But
oh yeah,
let's get
that was awesome. So he definitely wants deals. It sounds like he won't be supplying you deals. That's the only thing about this particular agent, right? He's like the honey hole for sending stuff to. If it makes sense, he's open to, you know, doing JV on other wholesale deals, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so you guys, there are certain agents that will provide you with listings, and this one wasn't one of those. So there's going to be the kind of agent who maybe isn't a flipper themselves, they're not investing themselves, and they will gladly provide you with pocket listings.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you approach that conversation?
So that one I'm still fairly new to. So there's still a couple ways that I do it. I try to make it, because whenever the problem I've been running into is the way I've been wording it kind of sounds like shady, and I'm not trying to make it sound shady. I'm trying to be like, hey, look, I just kind of want first dibs before you put it on the market, and I would love if you can send it to me. So I've noticed whenever I first started, it's like, hey, I would love if you just send something to me before it hits the market. And then I'm like, well, that kind of sounds a little shady, but it's all about.
Do you think it sounds shady, or did they tell you it sounds shady?
I thought it sounded shady. And if you're not confident in what you're saying, then it's going to come out worse than how you think. So you have to be, what I've learned, this was from law enforcement, you have to be confident in what you're saying for it to actually hit where you're trying to make it hit. If you're not confident in what you're saying, it's not going to work out well.
Yeah, I agree. One way to word that is to make it about the seller, where you can say, you know, sometimes a seller just doesn't want to put their house in the market, right? They have to go and clean it up, and they have to move things around, and they have to neutralize it and get all their pictures off the wall, and they just don't want to deal with it. And so there's buyers out there, there's sellers out there that sometimes it's just the easiest path is just to do an off-market sale to a private investor, just to limit the headache. And I'm definitely willing to help with that.
I didn't even think about that. That's a very good point. Another thing I want to point out about that last conversation is the reason I disclosed that I wholesale is because he said that he flips. And I know from what I do, wholesaling is flippers look for wholesalers. So that's why I wasn't afraid to say, hey, I wholesale. Otherwise, I normally say, hey, I'm an investor. I'm a flipper, but I also wholesale. I'm trying to branch into flipping. And that's how I get into those. But that's why I was okay with saying that I wholesale.
Nice. Yeah, that was really smooth, man. Emily, we're getting up toward the end of the hour here. What are you thinking? Should we try to look for some like a property that we can write an offer on? I mean, we don't have a ton of time left.
Yeah. Are you a hard stop at the hour, Benson?
No, I'm not.
Maybe we can try to do 2 calls on active listings, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. How about you, Skylar? How are you on time?
I'm golden.
He's like, I want to make money.
Yeah. If you guys don't have a hard stop, let's try to do a call or 2 on active listings and show them how we do that. So tomorrow they can start doing this on their own Privy account and taking action, making calls, and doing their 100 calls a day like Skylar.
Oh yeah.
And even if you're not there at the 100 calls a day, the good thing about Privy is if you hit that notes tab, can you hit that notes tab real quick, Emily?
Yes. Right
If you
here.
hit that notes tab, what I'll do is in mine is I put the agent's information, the agent's phone number, if we had a conversation, and then if you hit the X, I'll just give them a quick little preview of Privy, and I hit manage lists. And what I'll do is I'll hit add a new list. I'll put today's date, and then I'll put follow up on whatever day I need to follow up on. So whenever I was working, if that agent called me back, all I had to do is pull up Privy, and I have my notes, and I have everything that I need, my comps, my ARV, where I need to be at, etc.
Wow.
That's super organized.
That
Way
is.
more organized than I am, Skylar.
So then where do you go to check all your lists after that?
You just hit lists on the left tab. You see where that home is? Right there, where it says list. Perfect. And then boom.
They'll all be there for you to check?
Yep.
Nice. I like the way you do that. That's super organized.
If it wasn't for Privy, I couldn't do it like that. So
Awesome. So Emily, I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll look for a couple.
Oops. Sorry, Benson, I took you down. Go ahead and share your screen.
All right. Are you guys liking this?
There's a lot of love in the chat. I think we're getting, yeah, you guys let us know. I don't want to speak for you, but I think we have a lot of very happy people.
I'm super impressed by Skylar. He is just killing it. No fear. You know, newer. He's put in the work, but which is why he's doing so well right now. Is it isn't like he's just starting from scratch. So you just got to put the work in.
Yeah. I wish I recorded my first call. That it goes from it goes from you talking and working with the agent to the agent working you. Once you get confident in what you're saying, it's now a conversation. It's no longer let me sell you this type of conversation.
Right. Emily, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, cool. So you guys, so once you've started to get some momentum, building your buyers list, getting some agents on your side, you know, working through agents and their buyers, right? You got that kind of organized. You want buyers before you start writing offers. You don't want to get stuck with a great deal that you worked so hard to find, and now you have no way of doing the disposition side of the business. And too many people get caught up in that situation. So make sure you've got 3 to 5 solid buyers that you've had discussions with in your buyers list before you start writing offers. Then at that point, when you do, then you want to be very specific about trying to match up what their buy box is. So that when you find a property, you know you've got a potential suitor for that deal. Down the road, once you have a larger buyers list, you won't have to be as specific, and then you can just kind of have a general sense of like, this house is going to fit 50% of my buyer's buy box because you've already done your research. But in the beginning, you want to be very, very specific and laser targeted. Okay. So the way we find those is we're going to come up here and we're going to use this find similar active deals button. So this is proprietary to Privy. We actually have a patent pending on this piece of it, where what it does is it takes all these closed deals and it reverse engineers them. It uses them as a model for what a successful deal looks like. And then it looks for ones you can buy today at our defined discount. Now in the button, when you first click it, the default filter is set to 75%. The last couple deals we looked at with them, they were, 61, I think it was up to 66%. Let's say we set it to 60, right? Well, let's just be conservative. And so what that's doing is it's once we comp all the properties out, we get rid of all the houses that are too big, too small, too far away, and we're just isolating the comps to the ones that are most similar to the subject, right? True comparables. And then we compare the ask price of the subject property to the price of the comps. And if that price of the subject property is lower than 60% of what the price of the comps are, then we flag it for you. So we're really just kind of like handing these things to you on a silver platter. So you don't have to bust your head against the wall every day trying to find properties where the only way you can make the numbers work is if you write a super low ball offer. This identifies properties that you can come in much higher than you could if you didn't use it Privy this way, and get closer to asking to where the numbers will still work. So let's go ahead and run this at 60% in this area. And I'm going to back up a little bit here just to bring in a couple more properties. Ooh, they brought in a lot over there. That's okay. So here's a handful of properties that Privy found that could be potential deals. So again, it's comparing the ask price of the home to the price of the comps. So let's see if we can find something here that looks like it could be interesting. 395, 475. Oh, look at this one, 299.
That one looks good.
So this one has apparent deferred maintenance, right? It needs work, right? Now, well, a lot of work, a lot of work. But there you have some keywords in here. Great remodel opportunity. So if we scroll down into the comparable section here, the reason why this house was flagged as a potential deal is because it's in an area where there's flipping activity happening. And we've got prices of houses here that match up with the percentages that I set when I created the filter. If you remember, I set it to 60% or lower. So these three comps right here support that this house at asking price has a percentage of ARV that's lower than 60%. And this one right here was actually a flip. Now it hasn't sold yet because you can see that it has this green here. That means it's active. But this one sold for 552 and this one sold for 500. So I think this would be a good one to call on. What do you think, Skylar?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're thinking ARV is 500.
Yeah, I think 500 is a good conservative number.
What's it listed at? 299. So at 50% ARV, I'm at 250. So that's what my offer is going to be at.
Okay. Cool. So we'll grab that info for you. So I'm going to stop the share again. Emily, if you can pull it up. So you got 335 North 12th Street.
Yep, I will.
And then I will find some info for this person. The agent on this one is Augustine.
Was it this one, Skylar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool.
All right, here she is. That's the same Augustine.
Hey, Benson, Brent is asking in the chat. He has Privy, but his monthly renewal is coming up. Can he use the code for the following month? No, right?
No, not at a monthly discount, but if you upgrade to the annual, it will just prorate what you've already paid.
There
So
we go.
it'll subtract out the 97 that you paid from the 814, and you'll just pay the difference. But then you'll be locked in at that point, and you'll get the free feature upgrades when we launch long-term rental, short-term rental. You get all of that, and you'll be grandfathered in.
Yeah, and that code gives you a huge discount on the annual, and you get a bunch of Benson's free trainings, and there's just a lot of bonuses with that promo code, guys.
Yep. So there's the number. Skylar, you see it?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Awesome. Let's do this.
Let's go, Skylar.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please.
It's not a good number.
Okay, let's look again here. I got all excited. Augustine. Okay, here's another number. Augustine is a gentleman, just so you know. Or that one.
Gotcha.
Oh man, this house needs a lot of love.
It might be better just to knock it down.
Yeah.
Hi, you reached Augie?
Augie. It goes by Augie.
Double dial.
Hello?
Hey, is this Augustine?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Skylar. I was calling about your listing at 335 North 12th Street. Do you have a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome, man. I'm a flipper in the area, and this one is just right up my alley. I was just wondering, what all does it need?
I mean, it needs pretty much everything.
Okay, so like a roof. How's the electrical and plumbing?
He pulled a permit on doing that, but the assumption is that everything needs to be redone.
Okay, no problem. Is he looking to close fast?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily his main thing.
Okay, no problem.
He's more concerned about price.
Okay, is there like any liens or anything? Is it free and clear?
Yeah, it's free and clear. Well, there's hard money on it.
Oh, okay. Do you know how much he still owes?
I don't know the number.
Okay. Well, I'm unrepresented, man. I would love to see if maybe we can make something happen. If you wanted to work with me or not. Do you work with investors?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome, man. Well, if you don't mind, my offer is a little bit low because I've seen a little bit, or it's not low, but it needs a ton of work. And I mean, I'm more at like the 250 range. I was seeing if maybe we could make that happen. See if maybe he would bite.
Yeah, we've already received 250. We had 250. We had 260. So I think he's kind of mulling it over. He sort of had his number that he's at, whether he wants to sell it.
Okay. Do you know what number he would specifically be looking for if he was a little more lax on what he's at the asking price?
Yeah, I mean so the first offers he countered 280.
Okay.
And we didn't get anywhere on the 280. So we haven't gone back.
Okay.
I haven't gone back with anything in between those two numbers.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. I'm flexible on like title companies, closing dates. I could put down like 10,000 earnest. I would love to see if maybe we could make something happen, man.
You haven't been on site yet, right?
No, sir, but I could have somebody on site in a couple days without a problem.
Okay. You're out of state?
Yeah, I'm looking to branch into Phoenix and California, but I'm based out of Florida. I mostly operate out of Tampa and West Palm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd be happy to go to him with something. What is it?
Well, it would be 250,000, but then I would be open to like his terms on closing, earnest, contingency time, just pretty much whatever would float his boat a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So
let me go ahead.
Would you be able to write for me still?
Yeah, I'd be able to write. I mean, I can talk to him if you want. You want a written offer?
I would prefer a written offer. That way we could so that way he knows I'm serious. I could send over my proof of funds and everything like that, just so he knows that I'm not joking and I'll make this happen.
Okay. Do you want to email me your basic information then, and I can?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Grab that for you.
Can I shoot you a text with my email and everything? It'd probably be a lot easier.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
okay,
awesome.
awesome.
Shoot me a text here and then.
Awesome, man.
I can get that.
Hey, also, I'm looking to close probably about close to 40 or 50 more houses this year. If you have any more like this, please let me know. You know, I've got like $1 million that I'm trying to spend.
Are you targeting Phoenix area or?
Yeah, Phoenix, California, pretty much anywhere where there's a lot of activity. So I'm open to anything and I'll look at everything.
Okay.
Awesome, man. Hey, I appreciate you. We'll stay in touch.
Yeah. Tell me your name one more time.
My name is Skylar.
Skylar. Okay, awesome.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah, send that over to me and then we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Appreciate you, man. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Skylar.
Why do I feel like you're gonna get your first deal from this?
Hey, wouldn't that be crazy? It'd be out of my market across the state.
Dude, I don't know. I have some feelings right now. That was really, really good.
So
when you first got on the phone with him, he was like no, like he's not gonna bite. Da, da, da. And you opened him up, and then he was like, okay, I can talk to him. Like that was really good.
Well, he also said that he slipped up, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but he mentioned that it wasn't at the price that he was looking for, which means that he already knows that the listing is too high, and he said that he counted at 280, but it was rejected and they're not getting anything. So that tells me they're looking under 280 and they aren't getting the terms they want. So if I can be flexible on my contingency, my closing, my earnest, and things like that, then that might open the door, like, no, whatever, we'll just get rid of it. But it's all about getting it in front of him. So if he just calls guy and says, hey, we have another one at 250, that's not as impactful as, hey, he just sent over all of his terms and a proof of funds, and he said he's flexible on your terms.
You're good, Skylar.
That was awesome, man.
Holy moly. If you lock this up, just sell it to that guy that you just connected with.
Hey.
Boom. Done.
Yes. I don't think we look for another deal. I think that's a perfect way to cap this off. That was
I
just
was thinking the same
awesome.
thing. That was so good.
So you guys, you can do this, right? Like Skylar, he's proven himself. He has the chops to do this, but he's been practicing, right? And he's coming from a normal job. He's not coming from like big salesman background where he's been on the phone a lot. Like he definitely has the ability to talk to people and build rapport, and he's he's smooth. He doesn't come across as overbearing. But he's not coming across in my mind either as like someone who's like too polished.
No, yeah.
Like that polished look can repel people. And so he's come across as like a normal person who's having a conversation with somebody and really looking to do something. I liked how at the end where you were like, yeah, I want to get a written offer so that he knows that I'm real. Like that was really good, because it would have been really simple for you to be like, yeah, I'll just text you the terms. And that's what most wholesalers do.
Yeah.
But that, I think, that's what convinced him that you were legitimate.
Yeah. It's all about getting it on paper, because now I also have his email, so then I can follow up later. And now I've got another guy that works with investors, and he's like, hey, I got another property down the road, motivated, throw us something. So.
Yes. Amazing, man. Well, congratulations. You did well tonight.
Yes, Skylar, you did amazing. Thank you for coming on with us. Guys, I'm going to put Skylar's phone number in the chat. Don't hit this man up to waste his time. Hit this man up with leads, and he has Privy. He can go in any market and find a buyer and move something for you. Like you hear how good he is on the phone. He will find buyers and move your deals for you. So hit this man up to work with him. Benson, thank you so much for being on with me tonight and just providing value to our community. I really
it was
appreciate
awesome.
you and your time.
Oh, it was my pleasure, you guys. And if you are a Privy user already, or if you decide to take action tonight, we're doing a 2-day boot camp. It starts tomorrow. It's at 12 p.m. Eastern. If you can't make that time, it's okay. We're going to record it, but all of our Privy users will get access to that. Nice. And then starting Monday night, John Galan's going to be with me, and we're going to kick off our 30-day real estate investment competition. Skylar, you should definitely be part of it.
I will.
Where we're going to be basically, we've gamified this whole process. So when Skylar writes that offer, what we're going to do is we're going to give him 1 point. And then once he gets it under contract, we're going to give him 20 points. And then when he closes it, we're going to give him 100 points. And we track all this on a leaderboard. And so everybody kind of competes against each other and just does these things, and we make it fun. We kind of make it like a game. There's community, there's training, there's accountability and support. And all you have to have is just a Privy account. There's no additional charge. And there's also going to be prizes. So we're going to have probably at least a few $1,000s in prizes that we're going to give away. So there's going to be some cash prizes, some free months of Privy. I don't want to. Ryan Zolan gave us something that we gave away, which was really, really valuable. We got some other prizes coming, so it's fun, you guys. And I asked the winners last time what it was about them, about the competition that made them take action, and they said it was the structure of the competition, because it's 30 days long. They can see their KPIs like in real time on the leaderboard, and there was that element of competition. And they're like, if it hadn't been for the 30-day competition, they wouldn't have taken action that way. And so it legitimately caused them to go and get out of their comfort zone and just start making calls, taking action. And it's a lot of fun. So you guys have to join us.
That is so cool. Thank you for doing that, Benson. So you guys heard it from the man himself. You only have to be a Privy user. So go ahead, take action with the promo code we gave you, DAMG5, and start making your calls so you can sound like Skylar ASAP.
Just rinse and repeat. And if you guys reach out to me, even if it's not to work with me, if you guys just have questions, want to know how to get started, reach out. We'll get you on your feet.
All right,
Awesome.
I'm gonna put Skylar's number in one more time for you guys, and I'm gonna let these guys go and get on with their night. Thank you both so much, Skylar. We'll definitely have you on again. That was a great time.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
We'll see
Bye,
you
guys.
same place, same time next Wednesday.